Hello, I'm Lindsay. This is my first ever video, so I'm a bit nervous, so bear with me. Okay, my video today is to show you embossing for the Friendly Crafters group on Facebook. So what I've got here is some stamped images that I've stamped out. Now with embossing, I always have a dirty, nasty looking pad and a nice new clean pad, because I do like to do some messy projects, and once you get them dirty it shows up. So I've stamped out these images, and you can see here the Santa Claus one I've stamped out. You can see it's coloured, and that's because this pad here is actually really dirty from messy projects. At the other end of the card I've stamped out some feathers. I don't know if you'll be able to see them on the camera, but you'll be able to see them when I emboss them. So you'll see what difference it makes if your clear pad is actually not clear anymore. Okay, so I've got a piece of scrap paper, just bear with me. Piece of old scrap paper to put underneath, and some heated up copper embossing powder here. And I'm just going to sprinkle that on where I've stamped. Okay. And then we lift up the paper and tip it onto our scrap paper. One of those hasn't exactly gone perfectly, so I'm going to see if I can get a bit more on there. Okay, so now we've got our embossing powder on our images. Scoop up the rest of the embossing powder and pour it back into the tub so that none gets wasted. And then I've got my Dovecraft heat tool here. Mine's a bit messy because, you know, as I said, I do like the messy crafting. Right, hello, I'm back again. You may notice that this is actually not the same embossing gun that I had a little while ago. The old tatty one with things stuck all to the sides of it is a brand new one, because the other one broke in the middle of my demonstration. So we'll try this again now. Okay, so you take your heat gun. Some people heat from the back, but I don't tend to worry about that. It's quicker from the front, and that's just how I do it. But you can choose to heat from the back if you prefer. You'll be able to see, as it heats up, that you can see it change texture. Okay, so there we have our nicely embossed leaves. I'll do something with that later on to show you. Okay, so moving on to other types of embossing. Most of you will know what one of these is. It's a Cuttlebug. You can also get Big Shot Pro or Big Shot, Vagabond, Grand Caliber, all sorts of different machines for embossing. The e-bosser I've heard is quite good as well. Okay, and what I've got here is just a little Sizzix embossing folder and a piece of card that I've torn out to size. And you put that into a sandwich with your plates that come with the embossing machine. And you just run it through your machine. And the end result will be this nice embossed pattern. And if I take this out of the way to make the pattern a bit more visible for you, I've got some pan pastel here. And if I can just find my sponge. A very quick and easy way to make your embossing more visible is just to swipe over a little bit of colour with your pan pastels, and they will bring up all the raised bits for you. So quick and easy with pan pastels, I have to say. I do really love them and I tend to use them quite a lot. But anyone who follows my blog will know that already. But so quick little bit of dry embossing with the machine. The other option for embossing, which is dry embossing again, is you can get these embossing boards with different patterns on them and things. This is a Glitter Girls one. And I'll just quickly show you how these work. So you line up your card with the edges. Most embossing boards have an edge. The Glitter Girls has this that's unique. Oh, I'll get a different embossing tool. That one's not very good. Okay, with the Glitter Girls boards, you have this line that brings you in. They call it a channel, I think. And you just then follow the lines around the embossing board to get your pattern. Now I'm just doing this quickly to show you. Okay. So that's the other dry embossing, and I'll highlight that with a little bit of pan pastel as well, just so you can see it a little bit better. There. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to show you with this embossing tutorial is something that I actually found out, it was a happy accident. And it's a technique that I really love, and people have asked me to do a video on it, so I thought as I was doing an embossing video I should really do it. Here I've just got a little domino, and I'm taking my embossing stamp pad and I'm just going to stamp that onto the back. My scrap piece of paper again, and to start with I'm going to put a coat of the Heat It Up copper embossing powder on again that I used before. I like this. Mine's a bit messy, it's got all bits in it and all sorts, but that's just me messy all over. Okay, so we get our heat gun again. want it to be quite a thick coat, so I'm going to do it the same process again. Careful, because it will be quite warm after you've done that, and possibly a bit sticky for a couple of minutes, so you could actually pull the embossing powder off again if you were too quick to do it. Okay. I need to give that a couple of seconds to just cool down a little bit. And then I'm doing the same thing again. But this time I'm going to use my ultra thick embossing powder in white. I tend to give this a little bit of a press down once you've poured the embossing powder on. You don't have to, but I find it makes it stick a little bit better. You will find that when you've got this much on there, some of it will fly off with the heat gun. Don't worry about it. So you can see it's quite lumpy still at the moment, so I'm going to put a little bit more of the ultra thick on there. I think it's because there was a pattern on the domino, so I'm going to give it a little tap because the last time I had too much on there and it was just flying everywhere. I tend to be a bit haphazard with my crafting, so trial and error is definitely a thing for me. Emphasis on the error maybe. But I never would have found this out if I didn't have that approach, so it's not always a bad thing. Right, I'm now going to pour some of the copper on there while it's still hot and press that in. finally a little bit more of the extra thick, but I'm not going to push it in, so I'll just leave it to sit wherever it's wanted to, so it's just a thin coat. And this is what I love so much. The end result is this fabulous marbled effect. So I'll tidy that up later and make it into a little pendant for a necklace or something. But I do really love this marbled effect, so I just wanted to show it to you. Anyway, that's it for now. I'll pop back when I've made something to show you. Okay, thanks. Bye. Hello, back again. Just thought I'd show you my card that I've made with my embossed pieces. I hope you like it and I hope you like the video. Okay, bye bye.